Hello everyone, Gomez here for the LAN Up channel, and again with another reveal video for you this evening. Hopefully we'll be seeing the first looks at a champ, because obviously we've been seeing a lot of followers and cards like that, so this should hopefully be the first champion we see, but I've got no idea. Let's just get in. So it doesn't look like we're going to be getting a champion this evening. I was hoping for one, but we've got a bunch of new cards and also a new keyword in Manifest. And so what Manifest does is it says that it create in hand one of 3 randomly selected cards. So I can only assume that it's a bit like, you know, when you invoke and it chooses 3 celestial cards. Instead of doing that with only that pool, it will give you whatever the pool of cards is, 3 choices, and then you choose. I'm assuming that's how Manifest works, because in my head that's how I'm reading it. And so the first card that we've got is a Fae card. Yet again, Fae is another like I think a tribe type, you know, like how they've made like Yordle, a thing like spiders, so that Fae is also its own thing. And this is a Bandle City Targon card, which, like I said, as we slowly but surely get more and more cards where it's Bandle City cross region with something else, if you get enough of them, it can potentially make that Bandle tree landmark a lot more viable if it counts the other region that this card comes from, in terms of if this counts as playing a Targon card as well, because obviously we got yesterday that Yordle who is in Noxus, so we got like the Noxus one, plus as well we do know that like Teemo and Hymo are PNZ, but let's face it, you'd run like 2 Teemos, 2 Fizzes to potentially get Bilgewater, and then 2 Lulus, then you've got Iona. So as we get more and more, there's a slight chance that you might be able to get the bit. Depends on whether or not that landmark includes the other region of a dual region one, but that's besides the point. Let's just get back into this Manifest, and if I can go whoop, which I need to change the proportions on that, but for now we've got the telescope, which is play manifest a random celestial that is 3 or less. So we already know that we've got a number of cards which do that already, where it's like getting that pool of cards of 3 or less. It says epic or a multi-region follower. So by the way that I'm reading this, I might be wrong, but I feel like it's going to mean, so we get one out of the choice of, out of the manifest where it says create, which is in hand 1 of 3, which is 3 randomly selected cards. So out of the selected cards, I'm guessing that one of them is going to be a celestial, which is between, like, you know, 3 and less. One of them will be an epic card, a random epic card, any epic card in the game, and then the last one will be a multi-region follower, and then you get to choose one, and that's what you create. I feel like that's what that means. I'm assuming so. But the way that it says is create, which could manifest a random. So let's do it across 3 or less, epic or that. So yeah, so I feel like it's going to give you the choice. So one of these decisions will be a celestial, one of these will be an epic, and one of these will be a multi-region follower. So yet again, that is more of a kind of reason to maybe consider this for the Bandle City landmark deck, because this will give you a random epic or multi-region follower, so you can like potentially get something that you don't already have, another region that you don't have yet to play before playing that landmark. It also could just be potentially something that you play in a celestial deck. I mean, like, admittedly it's a 2-cost 2 one, so it's not exactly the best, but it can be played in Targon if you were making a dog deck. if you were making a Starbone dog deck celestial, this is another thing which could potentially get you more of those messengers to be able to make it so that you can help your way towards Starbone and make it a stupid celestial deck like that, because then that gives you like Zoe, who creates 3 or less, the spell which Zoe makes, which like obviously like she makes, but you can also run it in deck, main deck, the Sketcher, the Fangs. I'm just trying to think, is there any of the other ones which make 3 or less, which just means that you can guarantee trying to find the dog within those to help that Starbone thing happen. It's stupid, but I'm just saying that it opens up that option, right? So let's get in and see the other cards that were given to us today. So we're going whoop back into Mobilytics here, because yeah, again, the Twitter hasn't updated yet. So we've got a 4-mana slow speed Targon spell, which is Battle Bonds slow speed. So grant 2 allies +2/+2. So it's good, which is good stats. Let's face it, like Targon has got a lot of things along those lines. I don't know whether or not, because it says grant 2 allies +2/+2. I don't know if you played this on Taric what would happen. Like, would he just give the supported 1+2/+2 or not? I don't know how that would work with him, but in general, a 4 mana just giving +2/+2, it's not exactly, it's slow speed, it's not like crazy, but it still could be used in like a number of decks to be able to help buff up those cards that you want to be buffing. We've got a 7 mana dual region, so this is PNZ and Bandle City, 7 cost, 5/4, which is quick attack, which quick attack is good anyway. When I'm summoned, if you've dealt damage to the enemy nexus 4 times, which with Puff Cap decks is going to be very easy between those 2 regions to do, grant me impact 4 times, which we do know from the other one that it does say that impact can stack, which means that if we're granting this unit impact 4 times, it means that every single time that this strikes while attacking, it will do 4 damage to the enemy nexus. Like, we know, so that's what that's doing. Plus, well, it's quick attack, so it's going to be harder to take down if you're attacking with it. So it's not hard to do damage to the enemy nexus 4 times. Whether or not this will be played in a Puff Cap deck or not, probably there's a lot more resources which are cheaper and can help get more Puff Caps into the deck if you're running a PNZ Teemo, PNZ Bandle City Teemo deck. Whether or not this would make the cut, probably not. But for other decks whereby you're trying to wait for that last, like, deal damage to the enemy nexus and then wait for this kind of like last heavy hitter who can come out and then do, as it attacks forward and strikes, as long as it strikes, it's doing 4 damage to the enemy nexus immediately. Like, it's basically like a decimate, but connected to a body, that as long as that body can stay alive and keep attacking and striking, could potentially do, like I said, that continuous decimate 4 damage to the enemy opponent. But obviously, bear in mind, it has to strike, so if your opponent puts something in forward to block it and then kills the units that's blocking, then this doesn't strike and you won't get that impact for 4. So it's one of those things whereby, like, it's an interesting card, but we have to see how the meta goes as to how valuable that card is, because it's very hard to judge at this moment in time in a vacuum. But still, like, a very nice card for Bandle City, and it got the Fae, which is tribe again, so whether or not they're gonna do something with this Yordle tribe and Fae tribe, so I said, like, a drawing Fae from your deck or drawing Yordles from your deck, we're just gonna have to see how that goes. But it's nice to see that we're getting things which are connected to both these new words, because obviously they retroactively have given Yordle to followers and champions who are already in the game, and also Fae characters who are already in the game. So we're just gonna have to, like, see whether we get anything which gives those tribes stats. But anyway, talking about Faes, we've got another one, this crazy looking Birdman, who is yet again dual region with Ionia, which is the hungry, so it's an owl cat. I can kind of see that. And it gets spell shield, so it's a 1 mana 2/1 with spell shield. Whether or not it's good enough to see play, I mean, it's got spell shield, it's going to be hard to remove from the board like that, but it's got that stat line whereby it can trade into anything very easily. It's whether or not you get something like that makes this, like, playable for, like, what you're trying to do. So whether or not you run this in a deck that's got Ionia with PNZ for a give it all effect, to have something that's got spell shield to give everyone spell shield and know that you're giving them spell shield, but it's probably still not the best deck, but it's still an option. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this other than increasing this one's stats, which obviously we do know that you can do if you were considering an Ionian deck with Targon, like the support deck of Lulu and Tarek, with the new card that we've just been given here. So the battle bonds giving this increased stats. It's got spell shield. It's going to be harder to remove from the board. I don't know whether or not I can sell you on this. It's just the ideas that are coming to my head as I'm saying to it. And this art also appears in, actually no, correction, this is not just a straight up playable card. I've just realised it hasn't got the thing, because it comes off this one. I was going to say I can see it in this art for the Yordle, but it comes off of this Bandle City card. So interesting that this Bandle City card, this token card, is a Bandle City Ionia card, but it's not main deckable. It comes off of this Yordle, who is only Bandle City, who gives you, so when I'm summoned, create a random hungry. So whether or not this actually is mainly to count towards the Bandle City landmark, because obviously this card might count as an Ionian card. Obviously, like I said, if you're playing Lulu in there as well, you've got that other chance of hitting an Ionian card. But maybe this card is primarily made for being able to help you towards the Bandle City Landmark, right? Because obviously this is not main deckable. This is main deckable. You play this and get an Ionian card that you can summon. It's only a 1 cost as well, so it's very quick to summon. Can stay on the board a little bit to be able to do a trade and help you get towards that land. Like now, I actually I was trying to think, how am I going to sell this? Now I can realize. Now I realize how it's going to sell, because I should look there. It is just a token card. It's not a straight up card that gets finished. It's just the way that it's present, like the way that Mobile X has presented it this way round. It should have presented it so that this one was in front of it, but that's besides the point. We've already seen this telescope card, as I said, like with the Manifest, which is the only one I believe today which has Manifest. So we've got to be given that new keyword, but it's interesting. Like, what the interesting with Manifest, we'll quickly go over the last card actually, and then I'll get into Manifest. So Bandle Commando, which is yet again a Yordle who's 2 cost, 1/2. Nexus Strike creates one of these hunks. So you've got multiple ways of creating these spell shielded owls, like cat owls, whether or not they're used. Like, so potentially the stupidity of making a deck where you try to make loads of these and then use the, why can't I think of it name, Iceborne Legacy with Freljord for stupidity reasons. Like, because obviously they'd have spell shield and slowly but surely get buffed up. It's definitely not worthwhile, but that's the idea of the fact that we've got things which create multiple copies of them. This is on Nexus Strike as well. It is elusive, this card, so it can potentially hit in. But if we see a lot of Teemo cards or Teemo decks coming because of like Puffcaps getting such a buff, this card will mostly be used as a blocker for Teemo, or like, because that's gonna be like, how many times this will hit the Nexus, I'm not entirely sure. It depends on how good elusive like do with the new meta, as meta shifts and as new cards. Obviously we haven't seen all the new cards yet, so but at least we know we can make hungry owl, which are cat owls, if we need to. But that's why I think its primary goal is to help you towards the landmark level up win condition. That's where I think that this is, if it counts as the Ionian card, that's the way that makes sense to me. I mean, I might be wrong, but that's the way that I'm reading into this. So I believe that is all the cards. We'll very quickly check on Twitter. I mean, to be fair, like Twitter's probably now posted it in the far nicer way to see. Yep. Now we see the far nicer way to see. Sadly, it had not posted when I was originally recording this video, but Manifest is still really interesting keyword, with the fact that it can be done between, like, so it can be a very specific card pool, because it is create a random card. So literally you could just have a card that just says Manifest. It could be any card in the game, right? Probably not champions. Champions might not be included in that, but there could be a crazy Manifest card which is just Manifest a champion, and you get 3 random champions and you choose which one you want. Don't know whether or not that'll ever be a card, but I'm just saying, like, there's a possibility of it. But you can choose what spell, like what card pool that goes from. So you can say, like, Manifest a spell. It will only be spell cards that show up for you. Manifest a follower, Manifest a Yodel, Manifest a Yeti or a Poro or anything. Like, they can like really specify these down so that it will basically be like Invoke, whereby like Invoke is always a Celestial, but instead this will be giving you a card which could be between any kind of pools or just all the cards open. So I do like the idea of this because of what it can mean in the future. I said, like, Manifest a spell, Manifest a dragon. Like, there's loads of different ways this keyword can go down. So I do actually like it as being a thing. It is a play effect, so it's not a summon effect, so you can't just keep summoning this telescope and get all the benefits off of that. But yeah, so that is the cards that we've seen. As I said, like, I do believe this token card has mostly been put in to be able to help towards its landmark. But yeah, other than that, I do like the idea and the fact that this instantly stacks the impact on it as well. So, because the thing is, it doesn't actually have impact to begin with. It only has impact. It grant me impact 4 times if it's hit the enemy nexus, or if you've hit the enemy nexus 4 times. So, as I said, I could see this maybe being a late game thing. As I said, it is a continuous decimate. It's a 1 mana short of Farron, who just creates 2 copies of Decimate in your hand anyway. Obviously, this has to strike in to be able to get that. But it could see some use for Vandal C and P&Z. Like, it's one of those cards where it just helps towards the end. Like, once this drops, you have to deal with it immediately. And admittedly, 4 health is that kind of health pool whereby it can get through, because most of the removal in this game is 3 damage. There is obviously some which are 4 damage or more than that, but the majority of removal is like 3 or less. So it can potentially survive its way through to be able to get at least 1 strike in to be able to give you this 4 damage directly to the enemy nexus. And yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions. I was hoping for a champion. Potentially we'll see a champion tomorrow night, but as I said, like, they're keeping us hyped. They're holding these things back from us, and then they're gonna give us the glory, I'm sure. So we should be back tomorrow with more reveals. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below, as well as obviously shameless plug time. Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. You can catch all my streams and whatnot on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, as well as there's a Discord link down below where there is still a week to get involved with the competition, the custom card contest. So if you've got any ideas for cards, be they in any region, spells, champions, followers, or landmarks, I would love to hear what you've got down in that Discord. You could win some small cash prizes, so why not consider getting involved? The option is open to you. And of course, if you enjoyed or had any form of insight from this video at all, and why not consider hitting that subscribe button, but do not feel forced. These are just the options which are available to you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, evening, night, whatever it is for you. Until next time, goodbye.
Flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me! That doesn't save me. Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.